Hello everyone, welcome back to the Godzilla Advent Calendar for 2025. I hope you guys enjoyed your holidays, but the festivity is not over because we've got 6 more episodes left to go, which are going to be the start of the bonus days, which, if you don't know how it works, we basically just select some more figures up until New Year's and do a mini Advent Calendar from there, but it's still merged with the same thing. Anyways, so from here on out, we're going to be doing 2 figures an episode, and yeah, just kind of like speed up the process a little bit. So let's see which one we get first. The Playmates Final Battle Kong. Alright. And let's see which one we also get here. A NECA Godzilla. The 2003 Hyper Major Blast. One of the more recent editions. Alright, we got a NECA and a Playmates. Let's do it. Even in the Godzilla Advent Calendars, we still can't go one session without Godzilla and Kong crossing over in a 2-part match. Anyway, hello everyone, welcome back to the Godzilla Advent Calendar for 2025. My name is Matthew, and this is the first day of the bonus series, which if you don't know how it works, we basically just kind of count down until New Year's Day, which is technically funny because we don't even do an episode on New Year's Day, we do it until New Year's Eve, so if that counts as a countdown, yay, more power to you. Anyway, so for this special 2-figure episode, we've got the Final Battle Kong from the 5-pack Ultimate Titan Battle Pack. Final Battle Kong, Godzilla Kong New Empire version from Playmates Toys, and the highly sought-after NECA Godzilla 2003 Hyper Major Blast from Godzilla Tokyo S.O.S. The reason why it was highly sought after, and ironically something these figures both coincidentally have in common, is that they were both, to my knowledge, Target exclusives. So that means both of these guys, while they weren't on shelves together, unless some Target out there just happened to have this figure in stock around 2024, which would be very unlikely, but it's possible. It definitely seems like, that's just something these two also have in common, is that they're also from their final battles. So anyways, enough bickering. Let's go ahead and get on to the meat and gravy of this video, which is the figures. So first up, we're going to start with the Final Battle Kong, which first and foremost comes with an accessory. This goddamn HEAV, which we have seen, not even like in terms of like the figure releases, like in terms of on this channel, way too many damn times to count. We've seen this in the reviews, the comparisons, the re-reviews. You already know what this is. I'm not going to go over it again. It is a silver chrome piece of plastic molded in the shape of the new HEAVs that we see in Godzilla Kong New Empire, and hopefully Playmates will start cranking out more of these in different colors because it does color change in the movie. I don't understand why a company that prides itself on repaints and retools doesn't take advantage of that. Come on, Playmates. You're more than just chrome HEAVs. Anyway, back to Kong. So the base sculpt and paint is borrowed from the original, realizing how dusty this thing is. Anyway, the vent's literally right there. You can actually hear it, so that's why it's so dusty. Anyway. So yeah, it's borrowed from the Kong with Beast Club figure, but as a different solid paint job. For the eyes, we have black and white pupils, which is interesting because there is a shot in the film where he does actually like appear to have that color scheme, and that's really kind of like a nice attention to detail. The mouth and teeth, they pretty much remained untouched. That looks just about the same, and the face details, skin wrinkles, and the colorization, like the gray, I do like it. Here for the face, we have this big, gargantuan piece of, yellow. That's yellow. I don't know what I'm getting my colors mixed up, and it's not even a color. This whole thing of white, which is supposed to look like him at the end of the movie, or the final battle end of the movie, where he's all covered in like Shimo's frostbite blast, snow and whatnot after fighting with Shimo. And this whole top section is supposed to look like that, and it actually does look like that in the movie, which is shocking that Playmates actually bothered to pay that much attention. It's also much better than that crappy Snow Kong figure that Playmates released a few years ago. Well, maybe I shouldn't call it crappy. It did have some nice effects, but it was basically just the same song and dance we've already seen. Then again, this figure is kind of no different, but at least they bothered to put this guy in a pack. So yeah, this right half of the body is entirely going to be coated in the white. We got the scar detail, which looks, you know, pretty much average. The beige, it returns. This shoulder has not remained, has remained completely untouched. Fur detail, custom scar wound from Playmates themselves. More paint here on the palm. And get this, paint on the back, finally. Only took them 3 releases, right? But here we have a spray of white, spray of another white that kind of like goes to the side of it. Then the Beast Glove arm, which you might as well just take a look at. It's kind of like a construction yellow with some straps here, here, and here. As well as here, some gears that are painted on this side, but not in the other side. So that is a little bit to be desired. And of course some some patches of white here for these. And kind of going down here to the bottom of the feet, where we actually get some more detail work with the toes here, which are actually very well painted. So for the head articulation, well, the articulation in general, you can go side to side. Mine is a little bit stiff, and I don't want to like do that at the expense of like scuffing this, because this is like a one and done release. Same thing goes with here, because you can kind of see it was like this in the box, and then I just kind of started turning it, and then all that it got exposed. So that's really crappy. Anyway, swivel hinge for the shoulder. Go up and down, and go full 360 degrees. So that's nice. Swivel hinge for the elbows, as well as swivel. Swivel here for the wrist. This shoulder. Without moving this one all that much, because that is also starting to scrape. Mild rotation here with a hinge, and you can't really rotate there. Swivel hinges for the hips, a little bit like that, and hinge for the knee. So overall, the Kong here is going to be my personal, I know in like past I've ranked them, but I'm going to go ahead and say of the Beast Glove Kong variants, this is probably going to be my favorite. It's a little bit on the more stylistic side, but I think that this is a really cool piece. As a side note, I also believe that this guy came with the wrong accessory, per Playmates' choice. Because they bothered to include the HEAV, which is something that Kong never held in the movie, but they also included Gia via the MonsterVerse set, so I feel like they should have swapped accessories. Whoa! I feel like they should have swapped accessories. MonsterVerse should have come with the HEAV, because there's literally a scene where she rescues the HEAV, and Kong should have came with Gia. Don't you think that would have made more sense? And next, we have one of the more recent additions, and I guess we're going to have to angle the camera a bit up like this, the Godzilla 2003 Hyper Maser Blast variant, which, for those that are confused why he looks all yellow like this, well, in the film, he goes up against Kiryu, MechaGodzilla, that dude, not literally that dude, but a silver variation of that dude, to pretty much decide the fate of the world. But in the instance, he gets zapped by a whole damn maser cannon and gets all electrocuted like this, which is why he looks the way he does. But just like the Kong, it is going to be a base repaint of the original 2003 Godzilla, which in itself actually had some really nice sculpted features with some gray base tones, a really nice done eye, and really well frosted tips on its dorsal plates with a really nice wash throughout the body. Also, individually sculpted teeth, nice sculpted tongue, and several pieces of gum tissue in there as well. But the real star of the show is going to be the yellow paint, which you think it'd just be all sorts of shades of yellow. Well, yes and no. See, NECA decided to take a more stylistic approach with it, because not only is the bottom jaw entirely in that mustard yellow, which almost looks like a Ghidorah jaw, just plastered on there. The real shading begins on the neck, which is going to have browns, yellows, and bright white yellowish, almost like that one color transition fade thing between white and yellow, just at that moment. That's basically what this color is. It's not exactly yellow, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so you basically get that the scars where it's being hit, so it's right there. And you get it throughout the entirety of the front side, where you have it on the hands, which are really brightened up yellow here, as you can see. And then you have more of the brown, which is kind of like where it's not as predominant, but you still get a fair amount of that, and it looks really cool. You get all like this nice colorization on there, and even like through the sides of the body, where I'll admit the zap part, I guess, looks less kind of like impressive because it's not being highlighted. So I feel like a bit more highlights would have done better. But you can also see that there's some like interesting color transitions of purple. I don't know why purple was the choice. I mean, I'm not complaining. I actually like the purple. I almost wish that they'd make a whole new Godzilla, but that boat has sailed. Anyway, so the feet here are also very well painted, actually having some purple nails, so he clearly went to go see which kaiju would be the one to do nails. I'm trying to think, like maybe Gigan? But Gigan can't really do pedicures. Anyway, so for the actual dorsal plates, the 2003 Godzilla had a different beam style, where instead of all the dorsal plates lighting up at once, or doing that like 2014 thing where it goes no, it actually lit up in increments with different dorsal plates. So like this one would glow, this one would glow, this one would glow, and then all of them would glow in unison after that. So this is kind of like what it's depicting. Select dorsal plates glowing. So you have this bottom part, which is entirely blue, and then you have this like back plate, or the back of this plate, which is glowing with that blue. And then you have this big plate, which looks a lot like the NECA 2019 V2. And that's a good thing, by the way. That's like probably aesthetic-wise my favorite NECA Godzilla, but in terms of quality, I'd have to give that to the 89. But this dorsal plate just can't be beat. I love the overall look and aesthetic of this. It makes me so upset that we never got a Spitfire Godzilla, and I'm not even going to attempt to try and replicate this because, well, I'm not a customizer. I'm not really that good of a painter. But that said, this looks incredible. But for articulation, hinge at the jaw, ball joint here at the head, ball joint here at the nape, which I've already criticized enough, so I'm not going to repeat lips. I'm going to watch as I do a series of 2026 reviews, or just wait until Matthew 2000 remastered. We have ball joints here for the biceps here, hinge for the the elbows, as well as swivel in there. Swivel hinges for the wrists, hinge for the fingers, ball joint here for the ab crunch, so you can actually go a little bit back, and arc a little bit back here. Trying to actually get that back in the frame. There we go. Ball joints here for the hips, so you can get a little bit of rotation, not too much, but it does depend on how you have it posed. Hinge here. I guess that's not a good way to show you, but God, these things are stiff. Clearly, whoever owned this guy before I did not loosen up those knee joints. Come on, bro, you had 5 years. I'm just joking. But you have ball joints here for the feet, as you can see, and a series of ball joints for the tail, going from all the way here to roughly here. And you have this entire section, which is going to be on a metal wire. So that is about going to have to wrap it up for this Godzilla Advent Calendar episode. I do so hope you guys enjoyed. That said, as the year's winding down, I'm going to be winding up the clock, and we're going to be restarting again because 2026 is going to bring some cool things. At least that from what I plan. You know, nothing goes according to plan, as 2025 has definitely said to me straight up. But you know what? We'll take what we can get. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay tuned for day 27. Peace out, everyone. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Godzilla Advent Calendar for 2025. My name is Matthew, and this is day 27 of the bonus days. So we're going to be getting another 2-figure view. We got to turn up the volume here a little bit higher. Oh, hand goes on the keyboard just like that. MonsterArts SpaceGodzilla, the final battle version. I'm not pronouncing that correctly. For the second figure, we get a little bit of lag, that's what. The Funko Godzilla Tokyo Clash board game. That's an interesting one. Alright, let's do them. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Godzilla 2025 Advent Calendar. My name is Matthew and this is the bonus day number 27. Almost to New Year's, or about, in terms of episode count, 28, 29, 30, 31. 4 more episodes left to go after this. So, what we have here is an interesting pair of Toho figures. So, we're getting some more Toho, not MonsterVerse. We have the SH Monsters Fukuoka, sorry, my apologies on the... If any citizen of Fukuoka is watching, I'm sorry for the butchering of your own town. SpaceGodzilla, decisive battle version, and this is a interesting piece. The Godzilla board game that I've had for a little while now, which I still haven't played, so we're primarily going to be looking at the contents of the box as to the game itself. And pretty much just going through the motions here. So let's go into a field I'm actually more, I guess, experienced in, which is the action figure field. This is the MonsterArts SpaceGodzilla here, which I had bought previously on a secondhand seller. And he does not actually come with any accessories. Effectively, it was just the figure itself, but I was okay to be paying the price that I paid for this guy. Anyway, so for the SpaceGodzilla himself, the actual sculpted details, for being an older sculpt, still really hold well, even after all these years. The crown is made of a translucent orange plastic, with the eyes being very orangey and almost like red in there. The gums and tongue, they look really nice too, with the membranes there. The individually sculpted and painted teeth look really nice, and the base paint of like being a dark navy blue with some blue highlights over here and there look really nice. And what's really cool is that from the chest, sorry, to the neck, to the chest, and even kind of like the groin area, you get this really cool, like, purple look. Very muscular, and has like a ton of different highlights with like the red, sorry, not the red, the pink, sorry, I'm colorblind apparently. But here we have for the shoulder crystals, the red veins. Those look really nice. Effectively, you're supposed to like take them off, which I can actually do it for this one. Can I do it for this one? Hopefully, maybe. I don't know why I'm saying maybe. So much. Oh. That's also a problem, but yes, you can take them off, and I'm gonna be right back after I go fish out SpaceGodzilla's head. I'm just saying, if SpaceGodzilla actually does end up getting killed like that in Supernova, I am going to actually flip, because that probably means Godzilla wasn't the one who got the killing blow this time, which really would suck. Anyway, so also I already like predicted SpaceGodzilla being in Supernova like years ago. Anyway, so anyways, for the actual crystal, frosted white tip with some pink base, followed with some blue kind of like additions here with like the skin meets the actual crystal. The crystallized dorsal plates are individually sculpted and individually colored. Some are white, some are pink, because in the movie, SpaceGodzilla did glow different colors. Although some of them, as you get smaller, are not translucent and are rather painted. And the paint, it's kind of hit and miss. Some of them look better than others, but for the most part, the sculpt is very well done. Especially on the tail tip. Just kind of like going through the motions. The claws look very nice with the frost there and there. The very eyeball-esque looking kneecaps. Don't worry, that's just my cat scratching against something. And of course, here we have the tail all throughout the entirety of the bottom side of the tail, which is, or I guess the bottom side of the body. And they all look really nice, though. Anyways, for articulation, as you previously just saw, the head is on a ball joint, but be careful moving the jaw here, because this thing will fly off. I have a hinge here at the jaw. Ball joint here and here, kind of like the NECA 94. It's a singular ball peg system that plugs into a large hole. ball jointed shoulders, so you can go a little bit up, forward, and back like that. Not so much out to the side, but you do get like this extra skin flap to help cover up gaps, so that's at least a plus. Hinge elbows and ball jointed wrists, ball jointed waist here with ball jointed hips, double hinged knees. I guess they're technically ball joints because you can kind of get a little out to the side with them. Ball jointed feet, and a series of ball pegs all the way to the tip of the tail right around here. So for the SpaceGodzilla, he's really damn sweet, and I'm really happy to have him. I probably just popped off his head again, so let me do some figure TLC, I guess, for lack of a better term, here on camera. So there you go. Anyways, on to the Godzilla board game. So since the last time you guys have saw this on the channel, which was back in season 2019 of the Godzilla show, I believe, yeah, not much has really changed. I did take out like these individual figures, which are Mothra, Godzilla, Megalon, which is actually my only Megalon figure in the shelf, if you can actually believe that, and King Ghidorah. But as for right now, I don't really have any desire to play with this thing because I'm not really much of a board game person. But you do get like these little tiles of various different sizes. There's mostly like 3x3s here, and you also do get some additional cards here, which, by the way, the main cards are going to be right here. So you get pretty much most of them right out of the gate. So essentially it's like you make your own board. Also, I still haven't even punched these things out. Again, if you can even believe that. But of course we have all this buildings. Pretty much just a bunch of jargon and such. Not really jargon, it's actually really cool looking stuff. I use these in the Season 21 battle in New York, which is actually kind of a cool thing if you remember that episode. But anyways, that is going to have to about do it. Anyways, I do plan this sometime in the new year, the big 26, goddamn, hitting my camera over. But yeah, sometime in 2026, I'll be doing like a very in-depth video of how to actually play this because, you know, we'll learn as we go. I just want to actually play it with someone, and I don't really know much people who would be into kaiju. Well, maybe except one, but I doubt I'd get them to play this. Anyways, but that'll be its own video. Anyways, thank you for watching Godzilla 2025 Advent Calendar Day 27. Stay tuned for Day 28, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everyone. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Godzilla Advent Calendar for 2025. My name is Matthew, and today we're doing day 28 of the bonus days here. For that, we are going to be spinning the wheel and picking 2 Godzilla figures to review today. And let's see which ones we get. Also, we're getting another Playmates. The Playmates MechaGodzilla with HEAV. And for the next one, we get another one, which is, well, of course, going to be Real Feel? It's going to be Godzilla or Kong? The Real Feel Godzilla. Okay. Liking the choices here. So, let's go ahead and do them both. Oh boy, the double whammy lizard and mecha lizard. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Godzilla 2025 225. I guess 2025. There you go. Advent calendar. My name is Matthew, and today we're here doing day 28. We're almost there. This is gonna be the I guess a Playmates double whammy of Godzilla and MechaGodzilla, because here we have the Real Feel Godzilla from Godzilla Kong the New Empire and MechaGodzilla with HEAV, the original release from 2021's Godzilla vs. Kong. It's kind of ironic because both of these figures in ways are very similar to each other. They both have a weird standing up problem. Godzilla Evolved is actually technically, so to speak, designed after MechaGodzilla with the more linear proportions, the bigger like arms, and the more red to like shade color scheme. Also the weapons on tail, you get it. In fact, Toho, if they didn't request the arms to be shrunken down, he would have looked more like him, to be real. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, in a future figure, or had they gone with that, they could have put MechaGodzilla inside a rubber skin Godzilla suit. Anyway, so enough about the figures. Well, enough about the concept of other figures. Let's go ahead and talk about the figures. Starting with my personal favorite of the Godzilla Kong the New Empire line is going to be the Godzilla Real Feel. So effectively, this is going to be the, technically speaking, 4th time they've used this mold, not counting other sizes like him, in the 6-inch format, now casted in a rubber plastic material, or at least a soft plastic material, that pretty much gives the real feel, because in Playmate size, if you squish Godzilla, he's going to be really soft and really squishy instead of having armor hard plating, and by that logic, you're also going to get radiation poisoning. So, parents, I would not suggest buying this figure for your kids, and if you did buy this figure for your kids, I would suggest throw it away, because they are going to get some very complicated health issues down the line with this. Anyway, that's also just a joke. For the actual face, the face is the same thing with what would have been the soft plastic, even though it's all soft plastic now, with the pink eyes instead, black pupils, the not so much individually sculpted. I mean, there's some semblance of individually sculpted details, but for the most part, it's primarily all the same paint, which looks pretty damn sweet, and some absolutely pretty nice pink jaw paint in there. So at least it looks uniform. For the rest of it, you actually get like a nice white spray down here and some very nice gill paint or sculpt. Right here, you get like some ruby pink dorsal plates here. And overall, the detail does look really nice and really tight, which is really what I would have been looking for. Unfortunately, this figure does not fix the problem of it having very mellow detailing on the sides of the body, because to my knowledge, I think they just recasted the hard plastic to the soft, because you can see that the seam lines from the plastic version of the figure are kept over. So they probably bootlegged their own figure. That's my own personal theory. And just made some modifications. But the tummy here, mine has a little scuff right out of the box, but to be fair, it is an open box figure. You actually get a nice kind of like milk white overspray for the chest instead of like the olive gray kind of type color. For the arms, which are very well detailed, they got a lot of nice armor plating with some more accurate kind of like shoulder spikes here, which are different in terms of detail and actually painted this time. But in order for it to be 1-to-1, it's got to be more down here, almost like this one. Honestly, it almost looks like Angry Bird's red, like the top feathers. You know what I'm saying? But of course, they're in a pre-posed position, and yeah, everything's made of rubber. So for the actual dorsal plates, they're goated. I love the aesthetic. I love how the light catches and bounces back off figures. It looks so incredible, and I genuinely am just in love with how this thing overall looks. Granted, mine's got a little bit of dust. I do have to clean some of these off. I'm actually going to be making a video pretty soon, like after the advent calendar is done, like me cleaning off some various Godzilla figures, so stick around for that. Probably an episode to collect with Matthew, but I don't watch that series anymore. But yeah, everything here is all nice. For the legs, carries the nice detail and has some very nice sculpted detail works. Has some pretty nice actually has some pretty nice nail sculpt here, and actually has some like softened over pieces of plastic. However, my big kind of like gripe with it is that because of how soft everything is, it doesn't have a... Really? This thing makes me want to look like a freaking liar. What the hell? Anyway, so yeah, 9 times out of 10, this thing will have an issue when it comes to balancing, as you're seeing right there. But if you stand it up correctly, which 99% of the time little kids will not, yeah. But for the tail, the paint here is so good and really rubbery. Again, I get it, it's rubber, but it's so cool. And the underside, I kind of wish there was some paint here, but c'est la vie. But for the most part, the sculpt is just beautiful on this thing. It just looks so like, again, amazing, and I love the pink. You can tell that this is my favorite. Also, actually color matches this time. Anyways, for the articulation, we have a hinge at the jaw with a little bit more play because of the flexible plastic. The shoulders, I think, can basically go 360 because the soft plastic doesn't, like, grind up overly amount. For the legs, you can go up, go down. No foot swivel this time, which is odd because you think they would be able to fit in at least like a swivel or two in there. But for this leg, back and forth. And for the tail, do keep in mind that there will be some chippage. That was like that out of the box, so. But you can get a full 360 along with some side to side and up and down. So, for the real feel Godzilla, I don't think it needs any more explanation aside from me repeating lips at this point, that this is without a doubt my personal favorite Godzilla. It is not only the most movie accurate, which is something I was always looking for with the Playmates, well, I guess not really with Playmates, but with the Godzilla Evolved, but it's also just the most fun to handle because of its soft nature, and it actually has a really cool color scheme. If this thing had an atomic breath part, oh man, that would have been so cool. Anyways, on to the next guy, which is going to be the last for today. The MechaGodzilla with HEAV. But first we're going to be taking a look at the HEAV. The HEAV itself is going to be made of entirely of a green plastic and has a little bit of a window here that's painted in chrome. And yeah, just looks like the HEAV from the movie. Different color compared to the Skullcrawler one, which is weird that Playmates gave us different colored HEAVs for versus Kong, but not X Kong. Come on, Playmates. Lock the hell in for Supernova. Anyway. So yeah, that's basically about it for the HEAV. MechaGodzilla can hold it. With this arm predominantly, you can kind of like squeeze it in. There you go. But that's not the star of the show. This is going to be him. So for the actual paint and sculpt, the head here is going to be painted with some mild beady red eyes and some chrome paint gunmetal for the gears. Nothing at the top of the jaw aside from that peg hole for the Spitfire version, but it has some mechanical lining and some additional plates here for the back. The dorsal plates, if you can even call them dorsal plates, are all going to be red rectangles on this single piece of red rubber. So there is that. The the front here has the single only painted area of the entire rest of the body, which is all going to be red. And for the chest piece here, it is going to be made of a soft plastic with some very amount of detail here. You can see where it kind of lays, but it actually looks at least consistent enough to kind of get away with it. Arms are going to be made of like this kind of blocky, kind of not texture, but shape, as the movie design is, with the shoulder pads here. Nice line work, as you can see here. And some claw machines for hands. Of course, you also get like the saw blades if you look closely enough. Trying to get that in the frame here. Guess I can't, but you kind of see them right at the tip of my fingernail. So there you go. But yeah, one's a bit more open than the other, as you can see. Nice. Sides look like ribs, but they are meant to be like the things that in-house the thrusters. Here we got this. I don't know if this ever served. I think this was where he shot out the missiles, if I remember correctly. I don't know. It's been a bit since I watched it versus Kong, and from start to finish. More blocky parts to the legs with some various X and markings, mechanical panel and lining. Here for the feet, they look really nice. Here we have MechaGodzilla's, and here we have the tail. We actually have like a very nice segmented tail that almost looks like they copy and pasted all of the same like ridges, and then as it got smaller, just like I guess minimized its detail, but it still looks really good. And of course, here we have the tail drilled missile. For articulation, we have a jaw hinge which can open pretty far wide. Close up. Nothing at the head because even if it was on a joint, the spines would lock everything in. Swivel hinges for the shoulders, so you can go forward and back, up and down, nice like that. It's 360. 360 for the legs, which can go up about that far, down about that far, can go back and forth like this. Because this is made of a more flexible plastic, it doesn't have like too much give to it. Knees can go out like this, forward and in like that, and a 360 at the ankle, and a singular ball joint here for the tail, which can go up, down, side to side, the works. And for one last thing is going to be the battle damage, because these earlier Playmates figures did have the battle damage. You get a armor plating with all sorts of gunmetal and all that stuff, which actually have a lot of like missiles and like panel lighting, which is funny because, well, there we go. Speaking of the 2020s, does this look like a familiar video game character Among Us? Which is funny because like the guns panels don't actually line up. They're a bit too big, but I'm not criticizing accuracy here. But anyways, that is about going to have to do it for MechaGodzilla and Godzilla Evolved. I do so hope you guys enjoyed. Let's kind of get them back into a familiar pose with each other. There you go. And yeah, that's about gonna have to do it. Thank you so much for watching day 28, and I'll see you guys in day 29. Peace out, everyone. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Godzilla 2025 Advent Calendar. My name is Matthew, and today we're going to pick out the next two figures to review for the bonus day. So let's go ahead and see what we got. Spin the wheel, spin. Looks like we're getting another Playmates. Version 2 of Kong Skull Island. That makes 2 Kong Skull Island figures. And for figure number 2, don't ask why I said A in that way. Oh, whoa, it almost landed on the real feel. How ironic. King Ghidorah, the biggest, baddest of them all. So, another 2 Playmates. Not bad. Let's do it. Hey, you guys want me to make you feel old? Like, really old? As of next year, 2026, his movie, not the figure, his movie, is officially going to be 9 years old. Who would have thought? Anyways, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Godzilla Advent Calendar for 2025. My name is Matthew, and presented right in front of us, we have 2 new figures. Well, not new, but new to the Advent Calendar, which we have the Kong Skull Island version 2 figure, which is its reissue, and the Playmates Ultimate Titan King Ghidorah figure from Godzilla King of the Monsters. Both are several unique pieces to the MonsterVerse brand, one outdated, one indated, but let's go ahead and really take a look here. So first we're going to take a look at this guy. So if you're not familiar with the original figure, it was released alongside the original wave of Godzilla and Kong merch when Playmates had struck the license in 2019, early 2020, right around COVID, I believe. And this guy was a later iteration, I think late 2020, maybe early 2021. I can't exactly remember, but anyways, for the head, let's actually like angle the camera up here a little bit so you can actually get a little bit more. There we go. For the face, we actually have a very nice sculpted facial structure here. Looks exactly like the movie with Kong's more neutralized expression. You have a very predominant brow here. It's not like Grug from the Crew, it's predominant, but it is predominant. They gave him a really like deep schnoz. Like, look at that, those nostrils. Like, they go in. Like, I put like a needle, like not a needle, but something that was able to stick in there. It can go in there. Like, you could probably fit a keychain if there's like a little hole between the nostrils. Anyway, we actually have some orange painted eyes, which mine's a little off center here, but this one's pretty much picture perfect. I'm gonna be honest here, I would have preferred if they painted the pupils as opposed to just having holes in the decals. But for the face, actually, it's painted like a nice gray with a nice brown that's like overwashing the whole thing, which looks really nice. And again, because of the soft plastic used, it really lends itself to be a really nice, at least looking piece. With the nice kind of like broad shoulders here, and of course we got the monk hit chest, which is going to be sprayed on with a gray, highlighted with black with some slash marks, which are going to be painted on as opposed to actually sculpted on, which I would have preferred if they did, but this is Playmates, they'll never do that. They we have some slash, very freaking broad slash marks. I mean, the abs here, Those look nice. And of course, the man breasts with the more wrinkles. Here we have the fur to the side. Me and Telly's been working out though. And a little belly button, which is actually kind of surprising because like Kong rarely is like shown with a belly button. Although I guess this figure implies that he has one. I mean, of course he has one. The umbilical cord. Who cut the umbilical cord? Anyway, here we have this just big part of the whole body, which we have like all the fur detail and the fur here as well. Like this looks really cool, especially like the soft plastic that is used. If I remember correctly, don't take what I'm saying here as pure gospel or anything, but I think this is taken from the Leonard figure, the big like 18-inch figure. I could be wrong about that because we also have like some segmentation for the wrists, which implies that they were going to use like arm articulation at some point. But of course, this is the arm that's open. This one has fist. So I wonder what accessory they would have given him had he actually come with one. But anyways, yeah, all fuzzy. And then we have the skin texture, which is all gray. This part of it, that looks more like Donkey Kong's hand, if anything. Wrong Kong, dude. But unfortunately, that side's not painted. That's what it is. This monkey booty here, we actually have some more fuzzy details here for the legs. They look nice, and of course for the feet, which are going to be painted gray at the bottom. Mine's got a bit of like scuffage issues. This was actually used, so I do wonder what the story behind those scuffs are. I know I kind of like overthink things. Although, is that paper? Oh, it's literally just peeling off with my fingernail. That's interesting. Anyway, but yeah, that's literally about it. For articulation, we actually have a hinge here. The only Kong figure, I think, that only has a hinge. So we can go like that. We actually have a swivel here. Go 360. Same with on the other side. The legs here are really weird because instead of a 360, you do get a swivel, but it goes up about here. And it goes backward about up to here. So it's not the butt cheek either. Like something in the plastic hinders this thing from intentionally moving. And I can debunk that because there's still enough clearance for it to go a little bit further than the butt cheek itself. And also the earlier one was renowned for having like really piss poor build quality, but we'll mention that in a sec. But you do get a nice 360 at the feet. But yeah, that is about it for good old Kong Skull Island here. And let's go ahead and talk about Ultimate Titan King Ghidorah, which was part of the first wave, first united wave of the MonsterVerse Legacy Collective line, as I like to refer to it as, because that was when Playmates started branching out to other sort of Godzilla films beyond versus Kong, which included Godzilla King of the Monsters, Kong Skull Island, which is like a new version, and of course Godzilla 2014. But for the head here, the heads, they all share the same united sculpt with, just going to take a look at Kevin here, the same orange eyes, which is ironically something they have in common. The teeth paint are going to be pretty basic with some nice tongue paint. Like that's actually kind of surprising they were able to paint the tongue pink. And of course the whole body is going to be casted in a kind of like variety of different plastics, but mainly the same consistent yellow, which is actually kind of insanely rubbery too. And then of course here we have like a different neck poses, which actually have some nice detail here, which for the main one it's kind of like rearing up, this one's mainly towards the side, and this one's also really towards the side, really signifying that it's Kevin, which yes, you can alternate these heads. I will not be showing them here just because this is more of an abridged review than anything. Here we have the chest, which has the infamous battle damage piece, which I'm actually just going to show off right now because I want to kind of get this out of the way. With some kind of like red-orange-ish blood and such, with this tiny little sliver we call battle damage, which is almost like you're picking out a scab. I know that sounds really weird, but trust me, we've all done it. So it's not like you're super strange with that. Be honest, you picked that scab you got back in the 3rd grade. Don't think I don't know about that. I'm joking. Anyway, you'll see there's a bit of a color difference, but sculpt-wise, it is pretty much identical and the same. But we also get like some more muscular detail in the scales, whatnot. Here for the legs, we actually have a lot of like nice diamond plating and some nice scaling here. Back here with the more chicken legs with the 3 feet here and the for the toe bend back here. And well, obviously, like in standard Playmate style, one foot's in front of the other, one's not. And for the back here, we get a lot of the nice detail work. Looks really beautiful. Just look at that. And of course, for the tails, we actually get a lot of nice detail work here. Which here we have like the two-piece part here, and of course we have that little tail club. That looks nice as well. And for the wings, we actually have some really nice like sculpted work. Like this is incredible. We actually have like all of these. Just it looks like a folded wing. Like that's something you have to give credit to Playmates. This side it looks more veiny, but still has like a lot of the nice folded details. Which, oh, by the way, they do not move. They're entirely hard plastic. And yeah, you can see more like the ridges. Keep in mind they are a bit pointy, so parents do keep in mind that your Ghidorah could cause like maybe some mild irritation or poking to your kids. Don't let your kid throw this at another kid. I promise you that is going to be the end of Ghidorah. But for the articulation, we have a ball joint here for the head, goes side to side. And of course, we have a ball joint here for the heads, and all three of them can move simultaneously. Here for the feet, which can go back and forth like this. And for the twin tail, which are packaged separately, or not sold separately, packaged separately, there you go. Assembly required, we get some ball joints, which are going to be actually nice and useful because you can actually like intertwine them with like that. So, I mean, not that you would really want to, but it's there. Anyways, that's going to have to about do it for our duo of King Ghidorah and Kong here. So that's going to, yeah, just be it. So thank you for watching day 29 of the Advent Calendar. We're almost there to New Year's. I can't believe it, but we're almost there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Godzilla Advent Calendar for 2025. There you go. 2025. My name is Matthew, and we're almost here. I guess this is a milestone. The second last Advent Calendar episode for 2025. Yeah, we're already here. I'm gonna be real here. It's been a little while, but anyways, we're gonna get this started by selecting two more figures. Let's see which ones we can get. Hopefully it's not it's another Playmates. It's about to say, because we've had 3 episodes now. Counting this, the Shimo versus Godzilla set. That's gonna be a doozy, especially because if we're reviewing. Imagine if we get both sets. If I get another set, I'm gonna freaking lose it. Because that means I'm gonna have to bring all that crap down. Mothra with Gia. Okay. Oh boy. I'm worried about the set. It's not that hard. Okay, let's do this. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Godzilla 2025 Advent Calendar. My name is Matthew. This is going to be the second last episode for the year, for the month as well. But right in front of us with me here, or I guess with us, we have the very first 2-pack set for Godzilla, the Godzilla Advent Calendar. Correct me if I'm wrong. Probably being screamed at by a long-time viewer right now. Of the Shimo versus Godzilla set, exclusive to Walmart for Godzilla Kong the New Empire. And also from the New Empire is going to be Mothra and Gia. This is actually from the Ultimate Titan Battle Pack, but I decided to put it out as its own because it is technically its own figure and had its own release in select countries, which is weird because they never did that for the States. Probably a licensing thing. Anyways, so yeah, we're going to be starting with this, first actually off with Mothra and Gia, just because it's the less complex of the two. And plus, I imagine that's probably not the one people are coming to see. Anyways, for Gia herself, it's a small little minifigure replicating her outfit in the film. So she had a little headband, and her hair was tied back, and she wore like this very kind of like uniform green, almost olive green outfit. There's no facial details, so I guess they didn't have to pay any royalties to I forget her name. Who acted her. Anyway, so yeah, it comes on a little base and it's just in a neutral position. You know, not too much is going on here. I think this is the second time they gave us a humanoid figure after the Mega Heat Ray Godzilla from versus Kong. But yeah, has a little base. Not too much here going on with Gia. No posability, nothing really. So let's focus in on Mothra. The actual sculpted details here are pretty basic. I mean, it is in the name. For the face, we actually have some nice little now I'm just realizing they look like sixes. Now I can't get that out of my damn head. Anyways, yeah, so the sixes are going to be entirely white with the eyes, which look like tiny little M&Ms, are going to be the blue. And for the face, it's going to be kind of like a dark brown. Really dusty. Very old, too. Not very too old, but it has been kind of collecting a lot of dusts recently, so I'm going to be doing something about that. Anyway, so yeah, we have all the nice like little details, which we have for the little pincers here, little claws. We have some kind of like faded blacks here, which look really cool. Little like, I'm guessing that's like a production unit thing. And for here, we actually have some more sprays at the back. But for the main body, that's kind of it. There's some like grooves and like we have the abdomen here, but there's really not much to it. But what we do have are some nice prints here for the wings. Now, keep in mind, in years past, I've said I do not like stickers on my figures, and I still stand by that. But the stickers here do at least look well applied, and I am excited to have her. That said, you can kind of see like some wrinkles and stuff in there, and it's been like that since I got her out of the box, so little tightened up, but it is what it is. And if you notice a little problem is that the wings are in the incorrect position. See, they're supposed to be reversed. The bottom wings are supposed to be more towards the back, and the bigger wings are supposed to be more towards the front. Aerodynamically, I think that's the term. It doesn't really make much sense. But anyways, for articulation, smaller wings are going to be on hinges and can actually swivel, so you can go up and down. And same with the bigger wings, which are also going to be able to swivel and all the such. So now that we have Mothra and Gia out of the way, let's go ahead and get a look at I hate saying the main event, especially when it comes to an advent calendar episode. The main event, Godzilla versus Shimo, which is going to be repaints of the original releases. Let's start with Shimo. On her own, I actually have a defected version. Yeah, see, the Shimo I own for the eyes, pretty much beady blue. Teeth are kind of individual sculpted, not really, but they are painted on the same basis with a pretty basic big tongue and not so much going on inside the mouth with some pretty nice detailing here, all things throughout. Like you actually get a nice amount of it. But here for the crown that's painted white to a translucent blue to a very nice kind of like crystallized blue. Like that is a really nice looking blue. And of course we have more of the sculpted details of the scales back here. Sides of the body, I do think they kind of like fall flat because it is a bit more smoothed over. She just looks like a giant egg. But of course, here we actually have some more detail here for the legs, which look really cool. As I can see pretty much right there. And there's not too much like paint-wise. There's actually supposed to be like a ton of blue paint, but unfortunately mine is like, well, it's got like all this like blue highlights, but that's literally it. The feet here, again, they pretty much look the same as the original in like a walking pose. Like some feet are bigger than going a bit more forward and back than the others. So let's focus on the top. Here we have another splotch of blue, just to show you there's nothing here. Back to the bluish purple, and then back to the blue, back to the bluish purple. And the blue does look really nice, and I do like how uniform it looks all together. The tail here is very well sculpted and painted at an angle and really nice blue. Like this looks really cool. I like this like deep sea indigo purple blue hue thing. And yeah, I just like the actual detail work. I just wish there was a bit more to it than this. But yeah, for articulation, we have a hinge at the jaw, which can go open and shut. Hinge here at the head. Can swivel here at the head as well. Swivel hinges here for the shoulders. We can go up and down. And pretty much like a 360. Swivel here for the wrist. And for the leg back here, which can go back and forth. And also swivel here for the foot. And a ball joint here for the tail, which can go 360. And yeah, that's about it. For Shimo's accessory, she actually comes with a Spitfire, Ice Beam, Frostbite Blast. So you can actually see the peg hole. I know I keep saying actually a lot. It's kind of what I do. And I'm trying to groove it in. I think that's actually about it. So there we go. There's Shimo firing her Ice Blast, which is actually really nice. And yeah, that's about it for Shimo. Now on to Godzilla himself, which is going to be my personal favorite of the two. Godzilla himself is going to feature a variety of different colors. Here for the orange eyes, black pupils, in the painted tongue, which actually let's kind of like get the beam out because it's been in there for a little while. Painted tongue in there with some nice painted teeth. Really nice like application of blue. Like this looks really cool. Like the light shade of blue with like the dark blues in the armpits. Like this looks amazing. Like I have to give Playmates this. They can cook with some of their color schemes. Like or hate their quality, there's no denying that their paint looks cool. Especially like this, where again I know it's just the effect, but it just looks so cool, all things considered. Arms look really well detailed, as well as the paint here for the claws. They look nice. Details on the side of the body are flat, much like Shimo's, but you do get the salmon type color and the red-orange type color scheme for the back here for the dorsal plates. Legs here look pretty basic with the olive green underneath here and here. And for the actual like detail work, looks really nice here and here. Again, not so much there. And also these aren't painted. And for the tail, it's all the same salmon you've seen a bajillion times. And actually still has the rubber kind of like nature to it, which is almost like the real feel, except that's like a beyond this. So yeah, that is something to point out. For articulation, we have a jaw hinge, which you can go open, shut. Nothing at the head, even though it looks like it can move. It's on a square peg, so even if you try turning it, it's not going to budge. Arms rotating here back and forth. They look nice. Do keep in mind they could scuff. Legs. Oh god, I heard a little crunch. I did not like that sound. Is that what I heard? You can kind of see some scratches. It's not good. But yeah, back and forth. 360 here for the foot, as you can see. And a ball joint here for the tail, which is also packaged separately. And for accessories, you already saw it. This little beam effect, which is going to be red, fit into Godzilla's mouth, peg hole. You know the rest. It's the same thing I've shown dozens of times over at this point. There you go. So as for the set itself, it comes with 2 punch-out crystals that you need to assemble yourself. I probably have assembled these wrong, but these are how I display them. So kiss my rum if they're like wrong or something. They're also a little bit creased because of my last move, so do forgive that. But the real star of the show is going to be these crystal-like rib cages. They're not literally made of crystal, but there's 2 pieces, and they have like a red and blue tone. They're at the top of the shelf. That's why they're dusty. But effectively, yes, you can kind of like punch them out. There's 3 layers to it all. 1, 2, and this back piece, which is for the actual like itself. So yeah, you can have like Shimo in there if you want to. You could have Godzilla in there if you want to. There's also a little groove at the back there for his tail. The one thing you can't do is have them together, which is kind of surprising, but personally, I do like this set a bit more than the Versus Star King set, just because like the lava falls were never really that well constructed to me, and even after like trying to finagle with them, I still can't get them down. But effectively, that is going to be it for this set. Let's get everyone back in frame here. That is, yeah, about everything. So let's do the outro here. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Godzilla Advent Calendar. We have 1 more left to go. And yeah, thank you for being here. Peace out, everyone, and subscribe. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another video. My name is Matthew, and today we did it. The final day of the Godzilla Advent Calendar for 2025. Finally did it good that time. Hell yes. Anyway, so for this one, we've got some pretty interesting options, but we're going to pick two last ones. This is going to be it. Let's see what else we get here. The NECA Godzilla 2019 V2. All right, that is a good one. And for the final one, we have a Diamond Select one. The Playmates Godzilla 2000. Pretty sweet choices. All right, let's do it one last time. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the last episode of the Godzilla 2025 Prep Zero. There you go. Apparently, we live in the year 2250. So, any legends from 2250, hopefully you're living in what Futurama describes anyway. Welcome back to another video. My name is Matthew, and today for the last episode, we've got two legendary status figures with the NECA Godzilla 2019 V2, the poster version from Godzilla King of the Monsters, and the Playmates Godzilla 1999 or 2000. So, with that said, these are both some of my favorites. But let's go over some of these guys in what I like to call the Legends era. Anyway, so for this Godzilla, the Playmates line, if you don't know, if you're not familiar with the Playmates line and you haven't seen my plethora of Playmates videos, Playmates was a line, or is a line, that was created by Diamond Select, who has like a ton of different IPs, and is basically their own version of Funko Pops. And I actually think that this is like the anti-Funko Pop. Why? Because Funko Pops are renowned for having small bodies and big heads. This is actually kind of the opposite, where it has smaller heads, big bodies. It almost looks like a Lego or Roblox character. But anyways, for Godzilla himself, the face actually looks really cool with a unique head sculpt that's not like the rest of them. Having a very almost dragon-esque head, like that actually looks really cool. The teeth are individually sculpted with some pretty good paint application, like for what you get. The tongue is actually painted pretty well, as well as the gums. You can actually see a little bit of there. The eyes have a mean look to it. You got the red, kind of like a eggshell white with some black highlights around the eyes. They look really cool. For the actual details up top here, you got more of like the dorsal plates, which go from the brow and ears to the back of the head, which is where the dorsal plates start. I will say the detail itself is a bit more mellow than I'd like it to be, but it is like a $10, $15 toy. But you get some folds in the skin and some pretty nice like sculpted details. You get like some swirls as opposed to just basic scales. The chest, which is I think repurposed from the 54, if I remember correctly. And then you get like these big like boxing glove arms. Like his fist is bigger than his shoulder. Like, buddy, you should really get that checked out. Anyways, yeah, we have all these like different lines and work and detail, as well as the claw paint, which looks really cool. And then you get like the hand, which has like a little thing you can use to hold something. I'm not sure what they're supposed to hold. I'm not familiar with the Playmates brand as a whole, only their Godzilla items. The claws are actually pretty sharp. Like, they're actually pretty pointy. I'm kind of surprised though. So yeah, apparently it's supposed to hold something. But anyways, the legs here, they're going to be made of the same kind of like art vinyl plastic it's made of. And yeah, it looks pretty nice for the most part. Got like a nice green hue going on. You got some like extra speckles of claw paint here and there, but it's nothing too much. Very squared off feet, but you do get the claw paint, which is very nice, nicely applied here for what you get. And let's talk about the dorsal plates, which, oh my god, the frosted purple tips. It looks so amazing. From here all the way down to this part of the tail, this is awesome. I will admit, personally, my biggest gripe is going to be like the transition, because I don't really like that green to purple transition, but it looks so cool. And it looks very unique. Like you can tell these are the 2000 spines, but they're stylized in a way that doesn't make them a whole the 2000 spines. But of course, you have all the segmenting here for the tail and the little dorsal plates that go along with it. Now, here's something funny. Let's look at the box here. This is the 54.99 2-pack, and I want to show you this. They advertise heads really turn, like heads turning on a figures. That's how you're selling the mask. I mean, I'm not trying to drag DST through the dirt. They actually make some pretty cool products. Anyways, yeah, as the box suggests, it can turn. It's a little stiff on mine, but you can turn. Arms don't move, neither do the legs, but the tails, which are packaged separately, can, and they rotate a full 360 degrees. So that is going to have to about do it for the Playmates Godzilla 2000. Now, what about our old folk 2019 Godzilla V2? Well, we've taken a look at him many times, so let's take a look at him again. So for his accessory, he comes with the heat ray, which is going to be this big, long blue Q-tip, white to white tip with some really cool gray, silver highlights and like a nice swirl effect. Like it's solidified plastic. You can kind of tell because of the seam line, whereas it's, there you go, there's the seam. Anyways, yeah, so the overall beam aesthetic looks cool. And also comes with this impact base, which you can put on maybe like Ghidorah's chest and make him blast away his enemies. Like this just big splash wave, and mine's a little scuffed, but it's pretty well in condition, all things considered. And yeah, just has a lot of like different waveforms, and it doesn't actually look like consistent. It looks very like erratic, which is the way it should be. Almost looks like a big like asteroid in the Arctic. Imagine that's where SpaceGodzilla ends up going. Anyways, so yeah, you're supposed to put the beam into Godzilla's mouth like this, as past NECA releases were. And you're going to see this little groove. That's going to be the top teeth. Rest the tongue in there. And kind of clamp Godzilla's jaw a little bit. And you're supposed to rest this up against something. It doesn't peg in. But effectively, it's supposed to look like this. But that's not what we're going to be primarily looking at here. It looks cool, yes, but let's take a look at the main event here. The NECA Godzilla. So for the actual sculpt and paint, the NECA 2019 has a really good sculpt, all things considered, and the blue paint just bumps it up. We have some really cool like silver highlights for the eyes with some blue mascara and like some different metallic blues kind of like seeping throughout, and has like a base color of like a not translucent, like a dark charcoal, so you can really see like where the vibrancy goes to work. And even like in the jaw, you get all like the different blues, and even like the teeth here. For the sides of the body, we get some of the blues here, and even on the gills, some on the front of the neck. Chest is highlighted in that metallic blue with some mild like light blue in the crevices, especially in the arms here and here. Claw paint looks pretty cool. For the sides, we actually have a lot of like the bases of the metallic blue and the actually some silver linings here, which is really cool, mixed in with the blue. There's just a lot going on here. And my favorite part about the figure is the dorsal plates. Like, come on. These things look so vibrant and beautiful. Like, the overall aesthetic of the metallic paint job mixed in with the aquamarine color just looks so amazing. And it just looks so cool. This is why, aesthetically, this is my favorite figure of the whole collection. There, I said it. For the legs here, we got more of the veins, which kind of like go down to the kneecap. But aside from that, don't really have a whole lot of detail work down here. And then here for the feet, they look nice with some like more blunt, I guess not blunt, but like sharpened paint, because you can kind of see there's a bit of like a transition where they added that paint. So there we go. It also looks like nail polish. Is that actually what this is? Nail polish? That'd be so cool if NECA put nail polish on an official Godzilla figure and Toho approved of it. Anyways, yeah, the groin region there has a little bit of blue speckle. And for the tail, all light blues up here with mild blue highlights. The metallic blue highlights for the sides. Nothing too much going on at the bottom. Mild blue speckles here and there, but that's okay. But more or less the same detail. But just has all like that same coherent blue, and it looks super chaotic yet uniform. And for articulation, we have a jaw hinge. As you can see, ball joint here, well, would be ball joint because this thing is really stiff. And then even more would be ball joint here for the neck. It has been nearly 7 years since I last got this figure, and it's still stiff. Who knew? Ball joints here for the shoulders. Better be careful because my 2019 V1 popped out pretty well on me. So yeah, you get ball joint there. Swivel hinge for the elbow. And rotation at the elbow. Swivel hinge for the wrist. So they look nice. Ball joint here for the waist. So you can go side to side, up and down with it. And a swivel, well, kind of going up. 360 here for the legs. Swivel hinges for the knees. Very tight. And ball joints for the feet, although I've heard things about them popping off, although they could just be bootlegs. And a series of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ball joints up until here, which we can go up, down, left and right. Pretty much the works. You get it. Anyways, let's get everything back in frame here. I can't believe it. Another Godzilla Advent Calendar done. The 5th annual one. You know what? I'm happy with it. But this would usually be the time where I'm doing like some mild reflecting and such. And I will do that in a future video. But to put it mild, I didn't think this year's Advent Calendar would actually happen. I didn't. I really didn't. I thought that this would just be a year, the first year, where I'd actually go without doing one since 2021 when I first started these things. Because last year, I was in a very weird circumstance. See, we were going under some renovations, trying to move and all that stuff. So that's why last year's didn't, or almost didn't happen. Thankfully, it got delayed, and then it did happen, and then we eventually moved in that following January. Which would be this year's January, 2025 January. That month, I lost a lot in that move because a lot of stuff got left behind, thrown out, abandoned, etc., 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 which included stuff that dated back to as far as my childhood in terms of elementary school. And yeah, it does hurt. That ukulele I had, yeah, that's gone. But I feel like what really helps me keep going is not just my family who helps me support me and like just like in various different ways, not just mentally too, but also you guys. This year has been the biggest year of the channel so far, and beyond just the Advent Calendar, I'm proud of the work we did together and how far we've come together, because this year was also my 10-year anniversary. And I'm super grateful that you're here. Even if you don't care for my Godzilla videos, you just still watch me, that's fine. I'm really thankful for you. You really helped me. And I'm so thankful that you're here. And I hope that what I'm saying at least brightens up your day. So, anyways, that said, this is going to be the last review for the year until we can get to the New Year's in 2026, where we're bringing back 2016. Yes, I know we say it's every year, but guess what? We're campaigning on it. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me on this big, extensive Advent Calendar. We had a bit of hurdles, went away for a few days, but c'est la vie. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video next year. Or maybe when this video goes live, because I am recording this the day before New Year's, you get it. Thank you for watching. Peace out, everyone. And Happy New Year.